Hey guys, it's your boy Aijalonwallace. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about my experience living in Bangkok for the last 8 months, almost going on a year now. I want to give you some tips, some trips, some tricks, and hopefully, I help you guys out on your journey to Thailand. I moved to Thailand about a year ago, but I've been traveling the world for the last 3 years. I'm a full-time digital nomad. I travel the world and make places for a living. I have a few different online businesses to make income, and I'm also coming out with a digital nomad course to help you get your journey started. So let's jump straight into my experience in Thailand. We're going to start off with housing. I got a few topics on my screen. I want to talk about housing. So sometimes when people are coming to Bangkok, they're probably thinking like, where should I stay? What area should I live in? Great areas, just name it off the top of my head. I want to say it's going to be like Nan Nan. That's the party area for the most part. So Nan Nan is a good place. Thung Blow, Ekamai, Prom Prom, Bangchek, and Siam is all really good areas for the most part. Asok as well. So these are like areas like near the downtown area. They're very convenient to get to each other through the BTS system as well. One of the things I want to say, Bangkok is very hot. So it's extremely important for anybody coming to Bangkok, Thailand. I strongly recommend you that you live in a place with air conditioning. I'm from Michigan, I cannot handle the heat out here. It is extremely hot. So I usually have my AC on all day for the most part. I like being in a cool house. I like to stay cool for the most part, just to get through it, so that's important to me as well. I know we have a lot of nomads that come over, so they're always asking me are there any co-working spaces here? There are a lot of WeWork offices here. They're all over the city. I think it's maybe 5 or 6 in Bangkok. And then they also have another co-working space called Hive, which is very popular. It's open on the weekends and the weekdays for the most part as well. And it's a lot of 24-hour cafe shops in Bangkok, Thailand as well, which is pretty dope as well for those who may not have a good work situation at their house for the most part. Another question I always get as well, just going back to my list, but the cost of living. Cost of living is extremely cheap. Just recently, I don't know what happened, but the Thai dollar went up. I think it was like $1 to 38 baht. And today is October 6th as I'm recording this video. Hopefully I'll get it up by tomorrow if I don't do any edits or something like that. But pretty much it's $1 to 138. Just to give you guys some perspective, I went back to America a couple weeks ago. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I went on a date in America in downtown Detroit, and the date almost cost me $400. I was living in Ann Arbor. My family lives in Detroit, but Ann Arbor, Michigan is like University of Michigan area. It's like an hour away from Detroit. So I had to drive an hour to Detroit for the date. To fill up my gas tank, it was like pretty much $80 and $80 just to go down to Detroit. And, so that's to fill it up. And, for the most part, I had to buy flowers, chocolates. I'm old school, I showed up, correct. And, and then you got to get a haircut. Haircuts in America are like $60 now. Back in the day, there were 10, there were 12, there were 20, that are $60 plus tip. And then on top of that, the restaurant was like, the bill was like almost $300. And that was just from it was just, 2 meals and a few drinks, and it went up $300. And then I had to pay for parking as well. And then, still pick my date up and take her to the restaurant. It was just a lot going on. It was just a lot. And then I came to Thailand, and pretty much I took the BTS, which was only $1, to my date. And, and we met at a restaurant inside of a mall, all-you-can-eat buffet style. And it was only like $15. There's a place called Momo Paradise in Terminal 21 or so. And it was just an amazing experience. And I was like, oh my God, man, I just spent $15 and I had an amazing time and an amazing date. And I'm like, man, $400 in one day can last me up to almost a month here in Bangkok, Thailand. And, so I look at that, even I have a bad back, so I get frequent massages. In America, an hour and a half massage usually run me around 150 to 190 an hour, depending on the therapist. Here in Bangkok, Thailand, I get about 3 massages a week, and each massage roughly range between $7 and $9, and they're amazing. They're like these are therapists who actually go. You cannot practice in a massage shop without going to school. So these are people who have actually went to school to become therapists, and I'm getting an hour massage. A Thai massage is usually what I get to stretch my body out when I'm working out and going to the gym. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing. It's a blessing for the most part as well. So I get frequent massages. I get my nails done. I get manicures and pedicures, usually bi-weekly. Roughly, you can get your feet and hands done for $10. Sometimes you can get them for $30 if you want to get a little bougie for the most part as well. But if you just want to go to a small business owner, they'll literally do it for $10. And that includes the gel and all that good stuff as well, however you get your nails done for the most part. So I think about that as a man, when I'm dating women, the women I date, I like their nails to be done. I like them looking, clean and everything. So I don't mind paying for stuff like that because I like it with the women that I date. And it's like, man, in America, it's like $175 for a woman to get her nails done, and hair could be like $200. But it's crazy here. You could take care of your partner and spend $10 on mani and pedi and stuff like that, and massages, and it's just amazing. When it comes to the cost of living, $1 is equivalent to 38 baht. Roughly, like 50 baht can buy you fruit. It could buy you a few things from the grocery store. There's a lot of things at grocery stores that are around 50, 60 baht or under 100 baht, if you want to do those calculations. So $3 is roughly around 30, is around 100 baht, So often I take motorbikes to the markets or to the stores, so usually like $2. I don't know anywhere in America I can go on public transportation for $1 or $2, and I still can do that here on a motorbike, on a motorcycle for the most part as well. When it comes to transportation. Another thing is, it's important to bring a do-rag or a stocking cap, because you don't really think about this until you're living in Bangkok. But when you get on those bikes, a lot of those helmets are not clean. I did catch lice once, or I don't know, my head was just scratching. I think it was lice, but it was scratching a lot. So every time I do get on a bike, I either don't wear the helmet, which you are supposed to, or I try to bring my stocking cap or do-rag out the house, so I don't have to just put the helmet on raw, because those helmets are extremely dirty for the most part as well. Sometimes, the police can pull you over, and then, whatever, to your discretion, maybe if you, donate a little bit of cash, you can walk away or, out of there. So sometimes for me, I'm like, man, I'll pay $2-3 to walk away from a ticket, versus catching lights. So it's just not worth it. So, bring a do-rag and stuff like that. Do not take the tuk-tuks, guys. I know a lot of people see it and they're like, oh, I can't wait to do it. It is hell. It's the worst thing. It's the biggest scam. Stay away from taxis. At the airport, you can take a taxi. But, but in the city, do not take taxis at all. Do not take tuk-tuks at all. Guys, take the BTS, take a motorbike, or walk, for the most part. But it's like the biggest scam, especially for tourists. They really scam you a lot. Tuk-tuks are the worst, because morning, afternoon, nighttime, you'll be stuck in traffic for 30 minutes to 40 minutes on those things. They're hell. It's just miserable at the end of the day. I highly do not recommend you to do it. If you're going to do it at like 3 o'clock in the morning on your way back from the club or something, or just make sure it's a short trip, like one BTS stop. If it's like, prom to a soak, it's just like one stop, okay, you can do it and it won't take that long. But do not take the tuk-tuk to another part of the city. I'm telling you, it's extremely hot. You guys, all your clothes are going to be drenched. You're going to be sweaty. You're going to be smelly. You're going to be musty by the time you get to your destination. And, it's your boy. I want you to stay clean. I want you to stay fresh at the end of the day. It's important to me. So, going into, of course, working at night, a lot of nomads ask me, how do I usually work? For the most part, so some nights I do have to work late. I don't like to work as much throughout the week, but some nights I have to work late. So usually I try to start at 7 p.m., which is about, 8 a.m. EST time in America. And then I try to finish around 4 o'clock in the morning, which is about 5 p.m. EST time. I usually try to go to the gym in the morning or after I wake up. And I usually just sleep from like 6 a.m. to 2 o'clock in the daytime. And then I got the day I'm free to, go out with friends, go on a date, go do some exercising. And then I can start the scheduling again for the most part. But for the most part, you do meet a lot of nomads who work American jobs. They just, they just ride it out. And you just, and sometimes depending on your job, I have seen some people hire VAs to like assist them with their jobs at night. So, if you got a little bit of room and opportunity to hire a virtual assistant, you can hire someone here for like $300, $400 a month and to help you out if you want to get a little bit of sleep at night and just have them watching your computer. So there's a lot of ways you could go about it. It's extremely important to stay hydrated, at the end of the day. I am drinking coffee right now, but I got my water next to me for the most part. But Bangkok is extremely hot. It's hotter than Africa. So if you are someone who does not drink water, you will have a heat stroke here. You will faint. And it's extremely important that you drink water, that you stay hydrated at the end of the day, because it's hot. It's hot and it's not a joke. And I'm struggling to handle it. I'm a homebody. I'm a night owl. I'm a vampire. I like going out at nighttime for the most part because it's cool. And, I have to wear, some pants and stuff like that to stay away from like that, the mosquitoes and all that. But, for the most part, you guys want to stay hydrated. I'm in Bangkok. And, and most importantly, you got to drink a lot as well. Alcohol is extremely cheap here. I think I, took my friends out last week and I bought six shots of tequila for, it was like only $20. It was extremely cheap, It was less than that, to be honest. It was less than that. It was like 15, I think, for 6 shots. And, so, alcohol here is extremely cheap. And that's another reason why you want to stay hydrated, because if you have a lot of foreigner friends or nomadic friends, they're going to be buying you a lot of drinks at the end of the day, which is extremely important. I'm looking at my list right now. Live close to a hospital. I wrote this down. It's not something you think about. So about 8 months ago, I dated a nurse, and the nurse told me, like, AJ, one of the number one reasons people die in Thailand is because they never make it to the hospital. Shit is crazy. It's just crazy. And, so I live across the street from the hospital. I'm not playing around. If something happens to me, I'm walking my ass over there. I'm going to have a bike or my security take me over right across the street. But for the most part, I literally one day was coming home and I saw an ambulance truck just stuck. And I was just like, yo, whoever's in the back of that ambulance, they're dead. They dead. There's no way there's no way they're alive. No way they're going to make it. Unless these guys are taking action inside the ambulance. And I'm like, man, it was like, yo, this is crazy out here. But yes, traffic is that bad in Thailand. And so if you have health conditions, and just as a serious note, it's crazy, it's a little funny, but as a serious note, if you have health conditions, you make sure your hotel or your Airbnb, whatever you're gonna, make sure you live right next to a hospital, and you can always ask and make sure at the end of the day. Okay, being in shape. Thai people are very skinny. They're very thin at the end of the day. They love to work out, or they pretty much love to, just make sure they stay thin. It is very popular here. Often I do find that a lot of women that I date are on the thick side, which, but they call it fat, so they have flat stomachs and big asses, which is what most black guys like. And they're like, oh, I'm so fat. And it's just like, no, you're skinny as hell in America. But, so so Thai people love being healthy. They do have healthy habits. The food is super organic. It's fresh and it's very delicious. If you are a lover of Thai food, or I just love the food here at the end of the day. I am meal prepper right now because I'm trying to lose weight. So I get all my food cooked on a weekly basis. And I'm actually I made a YouTube video for you guys to show you how I meal prep here, but I pretty much got a private shelf at this restaurant. They cook all my food. It takes 30 minutes and all my food and everything's cooked for the whole week. So it's pretty dope. People always ask me, like, why Bangkok? I guess, I'm a city boy, and Bangkok is like the Asian version of New York, man. It's like, it's super modern. They're constantly building new hotels, new malls. Everything is just new. Everything is new, man. New gyms. And it's fresh, and it's just like, it's always something to do. And I look at places like, Chiang Mai or Phuket, or like the islands, or like the beach areas where most of the nomads are at. And it's been raining. It's rainy season right now in Bangkok. And I'm just like, yo, what do you do when it rains? And I love the fact that, being in a city, it's so much to do. I can go bowling. I can go to a hookah lounge. I can go, I can go play basketball, go to the movies. But, it's so much. Dog cafes. It's so many things. There's so many activities here. And it's just like, man, so even on a rainy day or a bad weather day, you can still have a really good time at an indoor facility for the most part. Bangkok is also the hub. It's a direct flight out of Bangkok to everywhere, to Cambodia, to Manila, to Vietnam, to Bali, to Australia. It's a direct flight. And that's one of the most important things that I love about living in Bangkok, because you don't have to make no 2 or 3. I'm a person that hates flying. Even though I travel to 100 countries, I hate flying. And I love it that I could just fly directly to any country of my choice from Bangkok at the end of the day. It's just so convenient for the most part right now. Dating, I know a lot of people always ask you about the dating situation. What is it like? I'm going to have to make 1,000 videos about dating in Thailand and just all over the world, man. I haven't been posting for the last few months. If you guys love this content, you want to see more content like this, I need you to hit that subscribe button. Need you to like my videos. If you want to see this travel content, support your boy. I got 10 kids to feed right now. I don't have any children, just lying. But look, dating apps wise, I'm using Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, OkCupid. Tinder is really hard. It's challenging as a foreigner man, because most of the matches are like with lady boys or they're with freelancers. The freelancers are like, women who are, offering sexual services and stuff like that. So you have to weed out between the freelancers, and you have to weed out between the lady boys, and hopefully you meet someone on Tinder. So it's a lot of work. So it's not the best app for the most part for a lot of guys that are trying to, find a girlfriend or find a wife. Bumble is pretty good for the most part, and Hinge, you get a lot more foreigners. So Hinge is just full of like American, Canadian, British, most of the foreigners are on like Hinge, like foreigner women's. And then it's a lot on Bumble as well for the most part. Yeah, one thing I try to explain to people is like when it comes to locations like America, United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, Europe, these are countries where men chase women. And Asia, Bali, Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, these are locations where the women chase the men. And especially if you are a foreigner, it's just very different, and I don't want to get into no front page story. Don't put me on no passport, this and that. This is my personal opinion. All right, guys, do not make me famous or anything like that. I'm just giving you my personal, opinion. At the end of the day, it is very easy for men in Asia, especially in Thailand, to date. And it's very hard for women in Thailand to date. I know women are going to probably be watching this video. I have a lot of foreigner women who are my friends from America, Canada, and they struggle. I have a lot of women who are my friends here are teachers. They've been here for almost 3-5 years, and they still have not been in a relationship. Dating has been hard because most of the guys that they meet are, Thai guys do not like the foreign women because most of them are very independent. They're not that as submissive. They're very, they're hard workers as well. And a lot of foreign women don't really like Thai guys that much, so for the most part as well. So most of the guys that do come into town or come to Bangkok, they usually don't stick around. So it's only a few number of men who actually live here. And then you find that, most of the men are kind of all matching. All the women are matching with the same guys who live here at the moment. But I struggle with dating foreign women in Thailand. I think I'm going to have to make a separate video about the pros and cons of why I struggle with it for the most part. But I tend to date a lot of people from Myanmar, Thailand, Bali, Manila, Philippines for the most part. I struggle with dating American, Canadians, British, Australians for the most part. But I want to date them. It's just a little bit harder here, and I think I'll have to make a separate video about that for the most part as well, to educate people on the challenges of dating foreign women in Thailand compared to dating Thai or Filipino women. Anyways, a lot of people may always ask me about the visa situation as well. So visa-wise, it's a lot of options in Thailand. They are coming down a little bit hard, but still opportunities and there's options. And you still got so many options in your neighboring countries. Like I know you get 90 days in Vietnam, you get 90 days in Malaysia, in Manila, in Bali. Here right now in Thailand, the current situation on a tourist visa as an American, I'm an American, I can get 30 days on a tourist visa and I can extend it for another additional 30 days from my knowledge. And then I would have to do a border run. For a lot of people watching my channel that don't know what a border run is, a border run is when, after your days are up of you being in Thailand, you have to go over to another country and come right back to renew your tourist visa. So that's pretty much. Now, how border runs work, you could do unlimited amount of border runs through flights, but you can only do 2 ground transportation border runs, meaning that you can only take a bus from Bangkok to Cambodia or Bangkok to Laos or any country that's next. These are the most 2 common places people do border runs to, Cambodia and Laos. You only do 2 of them. That means you go to Cambodia, you come right back. If you do it twice, you can no longer do it again. The 3rd time, they will not let you in the country. So don't fuck around and find out. And so, so because it just happened to somebody recently, they posted in a group, they didn't get through. So don't, so I'm just warning you, your big bro looking out for you. Now, flights are unlimited, but TSA do get a little bit, they start questioning you after a few times. I am on a long-term visa now. I do live in Thailand for the most part, so I can always give some people some advice on the best route to go for the most part as well. I am working on a digital nomad course that I'm going to be releasing in a few weeks, and I'm also going to start doing consultation calls to help people get off the ground and start living this life as a nomad, because life is short. You got to get out here. You got to chase your dreams at the end of the day. But there's so many options. Bangkok is a beautiful city. I haven't experienced the other cities yet. I haven't been to Chiang Mai, haven't been to Phuket, but I'm going to be going in a couple weeks. I'm going to start making videos, more videos and content for you guys. But I love these videos of just me expressing myself. These are my personal experiences. This is my personal opinion. I'm not always right. I'm not always wrong. But it's just my thoughts at the end of the day. I'm not here, I don't want to, people get really personal with my videos when I make them for the most part. But if you love my content, I need you to hit that like button. I need you to subscribe to the channel, support your boy, and I can't wait to see you guys soon. Let's get it.